welcome, all who come to hear my tales. Tonight we have a story from Kentucky, a place known for bluegrass music. But we did not come for music tonight. Instead, we come to explore the legend of the Kentucky Pope Lick Monster. If you enjoy my content, I ask you a small favor. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell overhead so you know when I drop my latest videos every weekend. Now on to the tale. Kentucky Pope Lick Monster. The Pope Lick train trestle is a long track overhead found in Kentucky. Once on the track, it is hard to escape if a train comes down the way. Knowing this, why would anyone venture onto the track? But you may not have a choice. A vicious creature of the night haunts this place. Two adventurous cousins decide to look for the famed creature. Unfortunately for them, this may be their last adventure. Keith and Scott always sought the supernatural. Two critics, bored with life. They never find proof, but they enjoy the thrill of being scared. This night, they chose to explore the Pope Lick Trestle. A quiet night in the fall of this year, the duo parked their truck and walked to the trestle. The full moon lit the night sky overhead. The air was chilly with a slight breeze blowing. The two ventured up to the tracks. The area is haunted by a cruel and monstrous cryptid. Some say a Native American spirit, perhaps a shaman. Others call it a mutation. And still there's those that think it's demonic. It has a desire for the lives and bodies of those foolish enough to walk this track. From the trees below, too quiet to hear, two hooves stomp the ground. Silence came from the nocturnal animals, no doubt, out of fear of the supernatural predator. An idea formed in Scott's head, stupid and foolish, but he took it as a dare. He walked out to the trestle, where only the train track stood. This creature has a power to manipulate your thoughts. To lure you out where you have no choice but to die. Such is a trick that Scott is experiencing as we speak. Keith called to him, but he never heard the warning. The only thing in his mind was a question. How far does he have to go to find this creature? Keith was focused on Scott. He did not notice the fog drifting in, like a noise, or the wind picking up. The cool night air became colder as an unknown odor crept closer. The smell was putrid and caught Keith's attention. He felt danger coming as he looked and saw the fog. He turned around to see a giant creature towering over him. With a slap, Keith was on the ground. He saw the hoofed feet, coarse fur, and wicked clawed hands. It lifted him up easily, and with a quick twist, broke his neck. He then dropped the body onto the ground below the trestle. Scott would never have heard the scream. He was so focused on finding the monster that was creeping up on him. The stench was carried by the wind. As Scott finally smelled it, he turned to see the monster between him and the bank. It stood there with what he was sure was a deformed grin. The face was human, but the horns, legs were all goat. It was tall, muscular, covered in dense fur, and the odor was unbearable. It ran toward Scott, head lowered to impale the young man. Faced with the choices of certain death from the monster, or a train coming down the tracks, he dropped and began climbing quickly down the side of the trestle. Moments later, he heard the train coming and felt the trestle vibrate. The goatman was nowhere to be seen, and it was getting harder to hang on to a vibrating trestle. He was climbing down, but soon the vibration was too much, and he had to let go. It was not a long drop. Trees, shrubs, and grass cushioned his fall, but it still was painful. He looked around and saw Keith's dead body lying in the dirt. His head was turned in an impossible direction. No doubt from the fall. Fog seeped in quickly as Scott began to look for the creature. The fog was thick and sinister looking, as it was bright and shined in the light of the full moon. Suddenly, horns pierced his side as the monster lifted the impaled man into the air. It screamed, a mixture of a goat baaing with a monstrous, perhaps even demonic, echo. He struggled, but the horns were deep inside. The monster rose his head up to the sky and screamed once again, allowing some blood to drip down his face into his mouth. Scott was slammed to the ground so hard, his ribs and bones shattered. Bleeding and hard to breathe, he struggled. The beast walked forward and knelt, looking at Scott in the eyes. His heartbeat increased. It was racing now, and for once, there was fear in Scott's eyes. The world was turning dark now. Breath was coming out slowly, and pain from the fresh wounds was agonizing. He looked over to Keith's body and thought, we should never have played with fate. With that, he took his last breath as darkness overtook him and his soul slipped into the void. Now the goatman would begin his feast of human flesh. Come back next week as we explore the home of Mardi Gras, the Bayou in New Orleans, the large state of Louisiana. As always, beware of those who hide in the Shadowlands.